If you're an American in your 50s or 60s and have been familiar with Las Vegas for years, what's happening at Vdara and other MGM resorts today might make you feel like something's off. After reading hundreds of reviews from older guests just like you and cross-referencing them with MGM's detailed financial reports, a complex picture of their new strategy has emerged, and it might not resemble the Las Vegas you once loved. Let's turn back time to a not-so-distant Vdara. It was once a luxurious, non-casino oasis, attracting travelers who wanted to avoid smoke, noise, and receive highly personal care. You were greeted by a smiling doorman, the front desk staff remembered you, and your room was always pristine after a long day. For many, this was the gold standard of hospitality on the Strip. But today, many older travelers tell a different story. They talk about cold, impersonal self-service kiosks replacing people, fees piling up on their bills, and a nagging feeling that they are just a number on a profit spreadsheet. Many leave Vegas with the impression that hotels are increasingly empty and less bustling than before. But a look at official data paints a contrasting picture. Recent financial reports showed that occupancy rates at MGM's Las Vegas resorts remained very high, ranging from 89% to 93% throughout 2025. These numbers directly contradict the empty feeling many returning guests describe. So how can a hotel empire like MGM face criticism that it's quietly eroding the very soul that made Las Vegas famous, while also reporting that it's more financially successful than ever? This isn't a random decline over time. It's a calculated shift in how they monetize loyal guests, especially those who have been coming to Vegas for decades. In this video, we'll dissect 3 clear signs of that change, starting with the prime example at Vdara, and compare guest perceptions with the real numbers behind the scenes. If you're interested in how Las Vegas is quietly changing, and more importantly, how it affects your retirement budget, stay with me. And please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss upcoming frank analyses of Strip resorts. Sign 3. Turning luxury into self-service nowhere. Is this shift more apparent than at Vdara? Once a symbol of tranquility, smoke-free air, and personalized service, Vdara promised a different kind of experience. But the perception of that promise is changing. Consider the contrast. Before, Vdara prided itself on a professional concierge desk, the human face of high-end service. Daily housekeeping was a given. Now, many feel the self-service era has arrived. MGM implemented a mobile check-in system at Vdara to streamline the process, but many guests experience it as a replacement of human interaction with self-check-in kiosks. Your vacation might start with a transaction on a touchscreen instead of a warm welcome. Next, housekeeping services. The shift to an on-request model is seen by many as a cost-cutting measure. The consequences they feel are overflowing trash cans, unreplaced towels, and a quickly fading sense of luxury. However, what's remarkable is that despite these complaints, Vdara maintains very high ratings. On TripAdvisor, the hotel has a score of 4.4 out of 5 from over 21,600 reviews, with special praise for its cleanliness, 4.6 stars 5, and the spaciousness of its rooms. Data from the Better Business Bureau also shows only 22 complaints over the past 3 years, most of which have been resolved. So, is this a blatant service cut or an modernization that's happening industry-wide? Clearly, there's a major disconnect between the experiences of a segment of customers and the hotel's sustained success. Sign 2. The system-wide optimization strategy. What's happening at Vdara isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a deliberate, system-wide strategy by MGM to optimize operations and costs across all its properties. Let's look at their service deployment. MGM has introduced mobile check-in across its entire portfolio including Vdara, to streamline the process and allow guests to get to their rooms faster. This is an option, not a complete replacement for the front desk. Similarly, on-request housekeeping became an industry standard after the COVID-19 pandemic for sustainability reasons, and guests can still request daily cleaning. Concierge services still exist, and reviews frequently praise the helpfulness of the staff. This strategy is delivering incredible financial results. In the third quarter of 2025, despite a slight dip in occupancy to 89%, MGM reported record-breaking room revenue. Digital tools like mobile check-in help reduce front desk labor costs. Although MGM doesn't release specific numbers, industry-wide data suggests that self-service kiosks can cut labor costs by 20–30%, contributing to the over 35% EBITDA margins at MGM's hotels. However, customer reactions are mixed. Many, especially post-pandemic, appreciate the speed and contactless convenience that helps them avoid lines. But another segment, accounting for about 10–15% of TripAdvisor reviews, complains about technical glitches, a lack of human support, and a cold feeling instead of a warm welcome. Customer sentiment analysis shows that while 70–80% of reviews are positive, about 20% express dissatisfaction with the lack of personalization. Despite the complaints, performance indicators remain extremely strong. With 1 out of 493 suites, Vdara's occupancy rate remains on par with MGM's strip average, 89–93%. The hotel maintains high ratings, 4.4 on TripAdvisor from over 21,600 reviews and 8.8 top 10 on Expedia. The Better Business Bureau has recorded only 22 complaints in the past 3 years. Clearly, this strategy is not hurting revenue. Even MGM's CEO, Bill Hornbuckle, admitted they lost control of the narrative on pricing, indicating that management is aware of public discontent. This confession isn't necessarily an apology, but an acknowledgement of a failure to communicate the value proposition corresponding to the price customers are paying. Cutting services to save costs is only half the story. The other half is how they are pricing this new experience, and it's even more controversial. Sign number 1. Paying more for a different experience. This is the culmination of the shift, where customer perception and corporate strategy collide most forcefully. First, you will pay more, and the numbers don't lie. In December 2024, MGM confirmed a resort fee increase at Vdara, Aria, Bellagio, and Cosmopolitan to $55 per day, a $5 increase. This was the second increase in 2024 alone, after a first hike in January brought the fee at Vdara to $50. Along with that, the self-parking fee also rose to $20 per day for hotel guests. When you add the 13% tax, the total extra charges at these luxury resorts can now exceed $60 per night. MGM claims these fees cover amenities like Wi-Fi, fitness center access, phone calls, and streaming services, and argues the increase is in line with market standards. But for travelers, it's hard to accept paying a mandatory, ever-increasing fee, while tangible services like housekeeping appear to be shrinking. Second, your vacation now includes more work, and this is an intentional trade-off. The luxury of being taken care of is gradually being replaced by the efficiency of self-service. Mobile check-in and on-request housekeeping have become standard. Data shows this change has been met with mixed reception. Over 70% of reviews praise the convenience and speed, but about 10–20% of negative reviews complain about the lack of personalization and the cold, impersonal feeling. You check yourself in. You request room cleaning via an app. This isn't just a change in service, but a change in the very nature of a relaxing vacation. And finally, the human element is being reshaped to optimize profit. There is no evidence this is a strategy to squeeze customers dry. Instead, It reflects the business reality of a fiercely competitive Las Vegas market. These changes help balance costs and efficiency. The data proves this strategy isn't hurting revenue. On the contrary, the fees have helped boost ancillary income as MGM achieved record revenues in 2025. Despite complaints, occupancy at MGM's Strip resorts remained high, between 89% to 93%, and hotels like Vdara still hold impressive ratings, such as 4.46 on TripAdvisor. Customer complaints often focus on the total cost, but their loyalty is maintained by core factors: superior cleanliness, rated 4.65, and the unique appeal of a non-casino hotel. From Vdara's shift towards self-service to MGM's system-wide cost optimization strategy, and finally, to the reality of customers paying more for a changing experience. These are three signs that a new era is taking shape in Las Vegas. The story isn't as simple as MGM just cutting services. It's a conflict between customer perception of luxury and brutal business realities. Data shows MGM's strategy is financially successful, with hotels consistently full. The promise of a world of perfect service, the very thing that made Vegas's name, may not be disappearing, but rather being redefined for a new generation of travelers who might prioritize technological efficiency over personal interaction. The city may still sparkle, but behind the neon lights, the Vegas experience is undergoing a systematic transformation. The final question isn't whether MGM is wrong, but whether this new version of Las Vegas is still worth the money you pay. If you're considering a Vegas trip on a tight budget, check out our next video, where I break down the actual cost of a 3-day trip. And if this video was helpful to you, please subscribe for more in-depth analysis.